In most love stories, tragedy is an interruption. Adiaxis arrives, an accident happens. Circumstances interfere. But in plastic memories, tragedy is not an interruption. It is the foundation. This is not a romance that accidentally ends. It is a romance designed to. In this world, Giftias are artificial humans indistinguishable from real people in appearance, emotion, and personality. They laugh. They dream. They fall in love. They build memories. But they come with a fixed lifespan. 9 years. 4 months. A countdown embedded into their existence. And when that countdown approaches 0, they must be retrieved before their memories collapse and their personalities fracture. There is no cure, no extension, no miracle update patch waiting in development. Just expiration. The story does not hide this from us. It begins with it. The first thing we see is not romance. It is procedure. Terminal service looks less like a sci-fi agency and more like a customer support department. Desks, paperwork, soft lighting, employees in uniforms trained to speak gently. Appointments are scheduled. Contracts are reviewed. Families are reminded of the terms they agreed 2 years ago. We're here for the retrieval. The word itself is sanitized. Not death, not deletion. Retrieval. The Giftias being collected are still lucid, still kind, still themselves. They sit calmly beside the people who love them. Some smile reassuringly, some apologize for the inconvenience of their own expiration, and the families cry, but politely, because they knew this day would come. The cruelty is not surprise. It is compliance. Love in this world exists inside documentation. You sign for it. You acknowledge the expiration date. You agree to eventual surrender. Heartbreak is scheduled in advance, and that is what makes it unbearable. Into this system walks Tsukasa Misugaki. He is not hardened. Not yet. He joins terminal service through connections rather than competence. Awkward and uncertain in a job that requires emotional precision. He believes, almost stubbornly, that connection justifies pain. On his first retrieval, he struggles. He watches a little girl cling to her Giftia caretaker, begging for more time. He sees parents forcing themselves to nod through tears because the contract demands maturity. The procedure is calm, but Tsukasa feels something is wrong with the calmness. He understands the policy. He does not understand how the heart is supposed to obey it. Then he meets Isla. She is his assigned partner. Quiet, soft-spoken, deliberate in her movements. There is something restrained about her, like she has practiced minimizing herself. She speaks efficiently, performs retrievals with composure, avoids unnecessary conversation. She does not waste emotional energy, because she cannot afford to. Tsukasa doesn't know this yet, but Isla is already near the end of her lifespan. Their partnership begins professionally. She teaches him procedure, correct posture during retrieval, proper phrasing when addressing families, how to maintain distance while remaining compassionate. He fumbles. She compensates. But proximity creates familiarity, and familiarity begins to warm. Tsukasa notices small things. The way Isla's eyes linger on children during retrievals, the subtle tremor in her hands after particularly difficult assignments, the way she stares quietly at sunsets, as if measuring them. She feels present, but temporary. There is a fragility in her, not weakness, but awareness. She already knows her expiration date. When Tsukasa learns the truth, it is not revealed through dramatic collapse. It is stated plainly. She has months left. No ambiguity, no possibility of appeal. The company tracks lifespans precisely. When the countdown approaches its limit, retrieval becomes mandatory to prevent memory corruption and instability. Isla's clock is almost done. The story does not frame this as shocking. It frames it as factual. And that choice changes everything. Because from this moment on, every interaction contains subtraction. Every smile is finite. Every shared walk is numbered. The tension is no longer about what might happen. It is about what will. This is where the emotional architecture locks into place. In most romances, characters fall in love believing they have time. Here, time is already gone. Tsukasa understands the cost. He knows loving Isla means losing her soon. He knows he is volunteering for grief. The math is simple. Attachment plus expiration equals pain. But he does not retreat. Instead, something unexpected happens. He leans forward. He invites her to spend time outside of work. Casual outings. Small conversations. Moments that are unnecessary, From a procedural standpoint, not because she lacks feeling, because she feels too much. For her, falling in love is irresponsible. If she stays emotionally distant, his loss will be smaller. If she avoids depth, she can minimize damage. She has structured herself around containment. To love would be to overflow, and overflow for someone nearing deletion feels cruel. But Tsukasa does not treat her like a countdown. He treats her like a person. He talks about trivial things, future snacks, seasonal events, ordinary plans that don't extend beyond her lifespan, but still imply shared days ahead. He is not pretending she will survive. He is choosing to fill the time anyway. That distinction matters. This is not denial, it is defiance. When Tsukasa confesses his feelings, it is awkward and unpolished. No dramatic music swells, no cinematic rainstorm. Just a simple admission, he wants to be with her, knowing it will end. Isla's silence stretches, because accepting him means accepting deeper pain for both of them. But it also means allowing herself to experience something real before she disappears. And that is the core question of Act I. If something is guaranteed to end, does that make it meaningless? Or does it make it urgent? Isla says, yes, not because she believes they will find a loophole, but because she wants to live fully inside the time she has left. And just like that, the contract changes, not the corporate one, the emotional one. They are no longer just co-workers navigating policy. They are two people walking directly toward loss together. From this point on, even ordinary scenes feel heavy. A shared dessert, a quiet train ride, a soft smile exchanged across a desk. Nothing dramatic happens, but everything feels delicate. The office staff reacts with subdued encouragement. They understand the timeline. They understand what Tsukasa is choosing. No one tries to stop him. Because in this world, everyone knows that temporary love is still love, but they also know how it ends. There is no ominous soundtrack signaling doom. Just normalcy, which somehow makes it worse. Because normalcy implies continuation, and here, continuation is impossible. Act I closes not with crises, but with agreement. They are dating. The clock continues ticking. And the tragedy is no longer abstract. It is personal. The brilliance of this structure is its honesty. There is no illusion of permanence, no hidden salvation. Just two people choosing attachment inside limitation. The love story has begun, not in spite of the ending, but because of it. They have signed the contract, not with terminal service, with time. And time does not negotiate. It only counts. What happens to love when it knows exactly when it will die? Does it weaken? Does it hesitate? Or does it burn brighter because it understands its own fragility? Act II of Plastic Memories does something cruel and beautiful at the same time. It refuses to introduce a villain. There is no conspiracy to extend Isla's lifespan, no rogue scientist, no malfunction accelerating the end. There is only chronology. And chronology does not hate you. It just continues. When love has an expiration date, joy becomes sharpened. Happiness intensifies because it is rationed. Laughter echoes longer because it is numbered. The relationship does not decay. It ripens toward loss. Tsukasa and Isla begin building memories, not extraordinary ones, but ordinary ones. An amusement park trip, a shared crepe, a quiet walk home beneath evening light. Nothing about these moments is grand. They are small, almost mundane. But that is precisely what makes them powerful. Because every ordinary experience is an act of rebellion. In a world where Isla's time is quantified, choosing to spend it casually becomes radical. They are not saving the world. They are not searching for cures. They are choosing softness. And softness becomes defiance. Each day feels like it exists, in quotation marks. This is temporary. The audience feels it. Tsukasa feels it. Isla feels it. When she smiles on the Ferris wheel, the image is already nostalgic. When he makes her laugh over something trivial, he is unconsciously storing the sound. Every joy is pre-labeled as future pain. And yet, they continue, because the alternative would be to withdraw early, to grieve in advance, to sterilize the present, to protect the future. They refuse, but outside their dates, the world does not pause. Terminal service continues its work. Other giftias approach expiration. Some accept retrieval calmly, some deteriorate early, some become unstable. Their memory systems collapsing into confusion and emotional volatility. In one case, a giftia clings desperately to a partner, refusing to be taken. In another, a family hides their giftia to avoid surrendering her. These cases are not filler, they are rehearsal. Every retrieval Tsukasa performs becomes a mirror. He watches families beg for more time, and wonders if he will beg to. He watches partners promise they will remember, even when memory itself is about to disappear. He begins asking silent questions. When Isla's moment comes, will she smile like this? Will she panic? Will she forget him before the end? And the most terrifying question of all, will I be strong enough to stay? The structure of the series is procedural, but emotionally, it becomes anticipatory grief. Tsukasa is mourning someone who is still alive, and that kind of grief is uniquely exhausting, because there is no funeral to release it, only ticking. They are perfecting a fragment. And fragments, when polished, can feel sharper than eternity. As the expiration date approaches, the atmosphere changes, not dramatically, subtly. The air feels thinner. The smiles linger a fraction longer. The silences carry more meaning. There is no catastrophic malfunction, no sudden deterioration. Just awareness, tightening like a slowly closing fist. Even the office staff behaves differently. Gentler, quieter around Isla? They understand the timeline. They have seen this pattern before. But for Tsukasa, this is the first time, and that makes it unbearable, because experience does not inoculate against loss. Act 2 ends not with collapse, but with proximity. The date is close now. No alarms are sounding. No tragedy has struck, but the joy has become almost too intense, because it is saturated with foreknowledge. Every touch contains goodbye. Every shed glance feels like something being archived permanently. Love is no longer about possibility. It is about measurement. Measured days, measured conversations, measured heartbeats. And yet, within that measurement, there is something profoundly human. They could have avoided this pain. They could have stayed professional. They could have rationed feeling. Instead, they chose fullness. They chose to let love grow, knowing it would be cut down. And that choice transforms anticipation from dread into meaning. Because when something ends, what matters most is not its duration. It is its depth. As the clock nears 0, one truth becomes undeniable. Love has not weakened under the countdown. It has intensified. And that intensity is what will make the ending devastating. Love is no longer hope. It is countdown, and the numbers are almost gone. What does love look like on its final day? Not the dramatic kind, not the hospital monitors and screaming confessions, but the quiet kind, the kind where the sun still rises, where trains still run on schedule, where the world refuses to pause for your ending. Act 3 does not escalate into chaos. It fulfills a promise. From the first episode, we knew this was coming. The countdown was never hidden. The tragedy was transparent. The only uncertainty was how they would face it. Now, the date has arrived, and the question shifts one last time. If love cannot defeat expiration, what can it leave behind? Isla's retrieval date is official. No malfunction. No emergency. Just a scheduled appointment. The shock is not in surprise. It is in normalcy. Tsukasa volunteers to perform the retrieval himself. He does not have to. Someone else could do it. A colleague, a supervisor. Procedure would allow it. But love, in its final evolution, refuses outsourcing. If she must disappear, he will be there. If memory must fade, it will fade in his hands. This decision is not framed as heroic. It is intimate. It is the last act of partnership. Before the retrieval, they spend one final day together, not hiding, not bargaining, living. They return to the amusement park. The same place where earlier dates carried nervous hope now carries something heavier, a stillness that feels almost sacred. The sun is bright. The sky is open. Children run past them laughing, unaware of the precision of this particular afternoon. The series does something remarkable here. It does not darken the palette. There are no storm clouds, no rain, no symbolic decay. Instead, everything is warm. This is not horror. It is controlled sorrow. They eat sweets again, share small jokes, walk slowly, as if stretching time through deliberate movement. Each smile is steady. Each silence is heavy. There is no frantic attempt to fit in everything they might miss. No rushed declarations. No checklist of bucket list experiences. They are not trying to manufacture significance. They are allowing the ordinary to become sacred. On the Ferris wheel, suspended above the city, the visual metaphor is obvious but effective. They rise, they pause, they descend. A perfect arc, a contained cycle. And inside that suspended capsule, they sit close, not clinging, not collapsing, just present. Because presence is all they have left. As dusk approaches, the world softens. The golden light stretches across the pavement. Their shadows lengthen beside them. And this is where the emotional shift happens. Isla thanks him. Not for loving her. For choosing her. For stepping into a relationship he knew would end in grief. For treating her lifespan not as a liability, but as a reason to cherish her more deeply. She does not apologize. Earlier in the story, she worried she was selfish, that loving him was cruel. Now the guilt is gone, because she understands something. Love is not measured by how long it lasts. It is measured by how honestly it is lived. Tsukasa does not ask for a miracle. He does not say, "I wish we had more time." He says he is glad they met, glad they spent these days together. Glad he did not hesitate. The tragedy has matured into gratitude. There is a profound calm in acceptance, and that calm is more shocking than any scream would have been, because it means they have already processed the ending. What remains is simply to step into it. The retrieval takes place at night. Not in chaos, in stillness. The room is quiet. The equipment prepared, procedure unchanged from every other retrieval they have performed together, except this time, she is not assisting. She is the one being retrieved. Tsukasa's hands tremble slightly, but his voice is steady. He explains the process gently, even though she already knows it. It is ritual now, the same word she has spoken to others. There is something almost cruelly symmetrical about it. They sit facing each other. He takes her hand. This is the ultimate act of love. To be present at the moment of disappearance, not to look away, not to delegate the pain, to witness it fully. As the process begins, Isla's memories start to fragment, not violently, not grotesquely, just subtly confusion flickering behind her eyes. She squeezes his hand. For a moment, she forgets. Then remembers again, then forgets. Each flicker is like watching someone drift out to sea while still visible, and then comes the shock. Not loud, but absolute. She smiles, softly. Not because she understands the moment, but because she feels safe. Even as memory dissolves, comfort remains. For a final second, she is simply at peace. Then, she is gone. No scream, no final declaration, just absence. The hand in his loosens, and the room becomes unbearably quiet. There is no collapse afterward. No dramatic fall to the floor. No operatic grief. Just stillness. Tsukasa sits there for a moment longer than necessary. Then, he completes the paperwork. Because life, cruelly, requires continuation. And this is where the series delivers its final emotional shock. It does not depict him as broken. He returns to work. He continues retrieving other gifts. He speaks gently to families the way Isla once did. He smiles, not because he has forgotten, but because he carries. Love did not ruin him. It expanded him. He understands grief now in a way he did not before. He understands the weight of countdowns. He understands that temporary does not mean trivial. When he comforts others, there is depth in it, not theory. Experience. Isla is gone, but she is not erased. She exists in memory, and memory, unlike hardware, does not have a fixed expiration date. Act 3 refuses to equate loss with meaninglessness. Instead, it proposes something radical. Duration is not the measure of value. A relationship designed to end can still be complete. In fact, its finitude intensifies sincerity, because when you know time is limited, you strip away performance. You stop postponing affection. You stop assuming tomorrow is guaranteed. You love precisely. You love deliberately. And that precision makes even short-lived warmth transformative. The final images suggest continuity. New employees join terminal service. New partnerships form. Somewhere, another giftia will approach expiration. Somewhere, another human will choose attachment anyway. Because the alternative is emotional sterility. And sterility is a slower death than grief. to avoid pain entirely is to avoid connection entirely. And connection, even temporary, is what makes existence feel real. So the ultimate question lingers. If you knew exactly when love would end, would you still begin? Plastic Memories answers softly. Yes, because even temporary warmth outweighs permanent emptiness. Because the fear of loss should not erase the possibility of joy. Because memory, once formed, reshapes the one who carries it. Isla's lifespan ended, but what she and Tsukasa built did not vanish with her system shutdown. It remained. In gestures? In gentleness? In the quiet strength to stay present when staying hurts. Love cannot defeat expiration, but it defeated indifference. And that is enough. The story closes not in despair, but in continuation. The clock will always run. But as long as someone chooses to love despite the ticking, the countdown does not diminish meaning. It defines it.